It added 45.5 billion naira to the initial 189 billion naira approved by the Committee on INEC. But the Senate failed to approve the budget for security agencies as requested by President Muhammadu Buhari. Joining me on the news now is political affairs analyst Olabode Oseni via Skype from the United Kingdom. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Now, what's your reaction to this additional 45.5 billion naira, considering that the initial feelers was that the Senate wasn't going to approve it at all?
Yeah, well, that's about 19% over and above last election budget, which all these figures is a lot of money. And the money for INEC is meant to serve purposes of administration, planning, logistics, and so on and so forth. And all eyes are on INEC. The whole world, the whole country is looking forward for a free, stage-free, free and fair election, and that has to be seen that is also credible. And because it's also it's high stake. There's so many things that's linked to 2019 election, and that's why I'm very happy that the Senate had now put differences aside and approved the amount of money the president requested for, so that the money can be used for what is meant for by INEC. The success of 2019 election is in the hands of INEC. They must do their best to make sure they are also credible.
Well, analysts have described this additional approval as a bargaining chip by the Senate to retain the leadership of the legislature. What are your thoughts?
These are going to be, you see, information like this are going to be very difficult, because you and I know that unless otherwise we are inside the chamber or inside the people themselves, or we are present when all this kind of arrangement or formation are made, or this kind of suggestions are put together, it's going to be very difficult to say yes or no. It's going to be very difficult for me as a public commentator to say that is what the senators have in mind. But judging from the antecedent, from the past behavior of this House, they have always only wanted to make money. They just, I'm sorry. Some of them would get angry, which it doesn't matter. But what it matters is, I'm speaking for the public, from the past, this Senate, they have only looking after their own pocket. They're not looking after the ordinary people. If that is true, that would be criminal. And I hope one or two or three of them that is found behind that kind of thing should be brought to justice.
Well, in all of this, the Senate failed to approve the budget for security agencies as requested by the president, and we know that security is of utmost importance. What do you think?
Thank you. As much as I don't want to be political, I don't want to be biased here. I just want to say this, and I hope this will go down with our viewers or people all over the world listening to this program. You just said it. Security is key. If there's no security, the whole place will become like a jungle. And I don't know why they decided not to approve that particular part of the request of the president. Look, this government is there. Naturally, we should be supporting the government to do the needful, to do the best for the country. So if anything starts going wrong, like in time, there's a breach of security problem all over the place, do you know what? I hope that's not going to be politically minded to say it is the government that is not taking care of the state of the country. And I just hope there's still enough time for the Senate to do a quick rethink and approve the amount of money the presidency is asking for to support security of the country, because without security, we are not going anywhere.
Would you say that a 234.5 billion naira budget is an over-bloated one for elections?
In my intro, I said to you that it's huge, very frightening. 230-something billion is a large amount of money, and we are looking at all this money are going to be expended in holding election in about 774 local government and about 30 because a couple of states had already conducted their own elections. So we're having almost about 30 left to do so. And when you look, the question is, how much money will each state will cost INEC to conduct election? And also, how much money is going into planning, into administration, and so on and so forth? But again, like I said, the history of Nigeria has always gone with massive corruption, asking for money that sometimes you don't even need it because it will end up in some people's pocket, which is very, very sad. Yes, it is a huge amount of money, and I just hope after the election, INEC will be asked to come and account for every penny spent on the 2019 election. That can be easily done by the Auditor General of the country. Anyway, that shouldn't be any problem. But I hope they'll be able to ask to come and account for all the money taken from the people.
All right, we'll leave it there now, and hopefully INEC may be called upon to account for that huge sum of money. Olabode Oseni, political affairs analyst, I'd like to thank you for joining me on TVC News.
Thank you very much for having me.